182 Blue Peter here, and today you might be able to tell by the title I'm doing a video on asbestos in gas mask filters. So I've got two filters from my two gas masks here. On the left you've got the Sud 61T filter for the Finish M61, then you got the, oh, you can't see that, MS4 filter for the MC1. And yeah, I'm just gonna go into a bit about like the history with these filters and asbestos related. But first I just want to explain to you what is asbestos. So it is a naturally occurring mineral that you mine out of the ground, and in the 40s, in World War II and World War I, they started putting asbestos in the filters, and of course back then it was fine because it would filter out any of the bad air, and then they went on in the Cold War. The Soviets especially, and maybe some of the Warsaw Pact ones, have they've been using asbestos because the Soviets kept mining it through the Cold War. And they also had charcoal in the filters, activated charcoal. They also used them in the 80s, I think, in the 70s, I think, and maybe the 60s. They put asbestos in insulation and stuff for fireproofing, and then when asbestos starts to break down, it makes asbestos dust, and when it gets disturbed, you risk inhaling it and getting asbestosis and mesothelioma, I think that's how you say it, I'm not sure, but it's a form of lung cancer. So let's start with this filter, the Sud 61T. So this one that I'm aware currently does not contain asbestos because it's a NATO filter, but it may contain chromium, which I'm going to do a video on later. But these ones are safe, as I'm aware currently. I don't think they've got asbestos in, but yeah. And then we've got the MS4 filter, which you can see when asbestos is usually in gas masks. I don't know if you can see that, but in there, it's because of the sun. Don't think you can see that, but inside there's like there you can see it now. It's a cotton. It's most likely weaved into that. Then underneath it in this section is the charcoal that you can hear rattling around. But some of these contain asbestos, some don't. And of course I got this one from a museum, so most likely this one doesn't, because they wouldn't be able to sell it to you if it does. And when asbestos breaks down, when it kind of expires, it's past its expiry date, then it breaks down and turns into asbestos dust, where you inhale it, you breathe it in, it gets into your lungs, and then it just starts shredding up your lungs, giving you shortness of breath, asthma, lung cancer, etc. So you have to be careful when going to wear get old gas mask filters, because some, like the M9A1 filter, which is basically, it's this but the American one. So this one is thing on here, it's dated 1986. There it is, 1986. I think that's what that means. So this one's safe, but the American ones were in the 50s and the early 50s, late 40s through to the 60s. Those filters are known to contain asbestos, and along with the GP5 filter, the EO15, the coffee can filters, and a lot more of the other filters. So these ones, some of them do, some of them don't, but they're known to be in, like, I think all Soviet filters and some Warsaw Pact filters. And they definitely are in World War II gas mask, British, German, etc. All those gas masks contain asbestos. They also have an arsenic pre-filter, which makes it even worse because that's just toxic in itself after a while. And then you've got World War One filters, which contain asbestos. British ones contain blue asbestos. And yeah, so you have 3 different ones. You have white asbestos, blue asbestos, and brown asbestos. But yeah, so the MS4 here, so the filter, it goes on here like that, and then as you breathe in, the asbestos catches the stuff, and I think it takes it out, like it filters out all the bad stuff. And then you can see when you breathe in, it comes through there, and yeah, it's all safe. And the activated charcoal also helps. But with the M61, it's on the side because it's a respirator, and I can't really find where the entry for this is. Can't really find it, but if someone knows, please tell me. But yeah, you've got the oral nasal cup, and then you've got the TISO tubes. But yeah, it goes in here, it screws in, and then of course you breathe in. But then they found ways that not to use asbestos. But yeah, so just be careful when buying filters. So what you can do to prevent it: don't wear old filters. Replace them with more modern filters, like with the GP5 one. You can replace it with a FP5 or I think it's called P5, which is the NATO thread version of the FP5. But they're safe. These ones, just be careful when buying them. Like, if you buy them from a museum, then they'll most likely be safe. But still, be cautious when wearing it. You could also get a particulate filter, which you can put over the cotton there to filter out any asbestos dust. But yeah, the most, like, so just, you can replace the filters, like with the M9A one, you can just wear one of these because it's got the same 60mm thread and it will fit. But just make sure, don't wear old filters that you're not sure that contain asbestos. So this one sold to me at a museum, and they wouldn't be able, it's illegal to sell stuff with asbestos in without telling the buyer that it has asbestos in, or warning them that it might. And they didn't say anything, so it's most likely safe. And yeah, so just take caution when wearing old filters, and look into them a bit, and research them if you're going to buy it, and then just be careful. Yep, that's today's video. I will be putting one out about chromium as well. Yeah, so I'll see you guys later. Hope you enjoy. Bye.